gentlemen, welcome to the Retro Roster once again. We are live across YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. My name's Dan, as always, joined by Jeremy and his buddy Skelly. How are you two doing?
I'm doing very well. I don't want to speak for Skelly. He's looking a bit gaunt at this stage, to be honest.
He's looking a bit emaciated.
He is. I'm not sure he's particularly healthy, but I mean, all he has to do is sit there and look prettier than me. So he hasn't really got that big a challenge in his life. I think he'll make do.
Hasn't at all, has he?
No, he'll make do. But in other news, we're back once again with a retro roster, avoiding competition from around the world by going back and looking at previous competitions from around the world. Yeah. And today we're looking at the WWE Global Warning Tour from 2002, which was in Australia, in Melbourne, Australia. We'll get into the details of it a little bit more as we progress, but I will ask you, as I always do, had you seen this event before? Were you even aware of this event before I said that's what we're doing?
No, I hadn't seen this event, and no, I was not aware of it.
There you go. It takes a real kind of early 2000s wrestling nerd like me to go, hey, this is a thing, we should talk about it.
Yeah. Nerd.
Yeah.
Nerd.
I remember this happening like when I was watching wrestling in 2002, and they were advertising the tickets for it for the good people of Australia to go, and then I was fully expecting it to be a televised event that you could watch. The main event that they booked sounded like really epic. I'm like, oh cool, this is gonna be fun to watch. And then it wasn't a televised thing, and the only way that you could watch it was on the home video release, which didn't come until months later, and the moment was gone. Reasons for which we'll discuss as we go through it, but so that was a slight disappointment, but it was a cool thing for them to do. And shall we get kicked off with it?
Let's get cracking.
Yeah, so the show got underway with the general manager of SmackDown, because this was a SmackDown brand event very soon after the original brand split. Stephanie McMahon welcomed Australia to World Wrestling Entertainment after an 18-year absence. It took place, the event itself, on August the 10th, 2002, at Colonial Stadium in Melbourne, Australia. There was an audience of 56,734, which was then an attendance record for the venue. And it was WWE's first visit to Australia since 1986, which was a good year.
Was it now?
It was a very good year, yeah. A fine vintage, I will say.
Something else happened in that year.
Some other event that is monumental for history and wrestling history, and yes, yeah. 2 years late for a good year, says Duff Valley.
Nah.
No, sorry, mate. Can't agree with you there. No. So yeah, I didn't realize watching this that they hadn't been to Australia for so long, not even for a house show or anything. So it was good to get a big event like this as their first one back. I think 56,000 people is a pretty big attendance for WWE in that time period. I don't think there was much that topped it other than WrestleMania, maybe SummerSlam, but no, I think that was like 20k kind of max in the basketball and ice hockey arenas. So definitely a good attendance, good number of people to go and see some quality wrestling. And that quality wrestling began with the first match, right?
Yeah, it did. The open contest saw Rikishi take on Rico in a Kiss My Ass match.
Nice.
Rico started the match off fast, jumping Rikishi from behind and following it up with quick martial arts strikes. However, after Rico missed a top rope splash, Rikishi hit a big Samoan drop and pinned Rico to pick up the win. Rico argued with the referee about the stipulation of the match and received a super kick for his troubles. Rikishi then delivered the stink face, which I guess met the kiss my ass stipulation.
It tended to be the way that they got around having to make a man kiss another man's rear end. They just have Rikishi be the opponent, and he would give them the stink face, which he would have done anyway, regardless of whether it was a kiss my ass match. So, and for those not educated in the ways of professional wrestling from the late 90s, early 2000s, the stink face is a maneuver in which Rikishi traps his opponent against the turnbuckle, sat prone in the corner of the ring. He will then pull his tights, his trunks, as far up his rather ample posterior as possible, and then insert his opponent's nose into his own butt cheeks forcibly.
Right up the crack.
Is that the best scientific way of describing the stink face?
That was a very polite way of describing it.
Did you like that?
Yeah. It was very well done. Very well done.
He puts them in the corner and sits on their face, basically, but first. Is that more on brand for this show rather than postioning it up?
Yes. Lower the tone a bit more.
Yeah, there were some moments in this match, mostly on the commentary. In fact, exclusively on the commentary, where I was like, this hasn't aged well. And I'm not even sure it was totally like acceptable then. I mean, it's never been acceptable to use the kind of homophobic language that they did, but it was less frowned upon previously, we will say, and it wasn't as derived that people would use this kind of homophobic language, where Taz said, "Well, Rico wants to lose this match because he wants to kiss Rikishi's ass anyway," on the suggestion that he was gay because he was a male stylist. That was his gimmick.
Yes,
and he was the manager at the time to a tag team called Billy and Chuck, who were not gay, but were portrayed as gay all the way through their run, and eventually that whole thing culminated in what was supposed to be the first gay marriage on television, or at least in wrestling. But at the last moment, Billy and Chuck bottled it, saying that they weren't gay; they were just doing this for the publicity. So, 2002, the year of gay weddings, homophobia, and HLA. Let's not forget HLA.
Yeah.
You know, SmackDown had Billy and Chuck and Rico, and then to counter it, Eric Bischoff brought hot lesbian action to Monday Night Raw.
Oh God, what a day!
What a day indeed. WWE really were trying to find their feet after the Attitude Era and after they bought their competition. They were trying to find other things. It seems as well, but they really didn't know what direction to take their company in after the Attitude Era and it being very edgy. I think they tried to keep that edge, but realized that they were catering to nobody because there was no competition. So the people that were watching were the people that were watching. They didn't have to entice anyone in.
Yeah. And
so they kind of went for the shock value a bit more than they needed to. This was the same year as well that we had the Katie Vick storyline.
Oh, Christ.
Where Triple H staged a live... what's the word I'm looking for? Live necrophilia? Yeah, that's it. He staged some live necrophilia where he pretended to be Kane making love to a corpse that had died in a car crash. So not the brightest moments of WWE history in this period, and there will be some more questionable Actually, there's a lot of questionable things on this show.
A lot of questionable.
Not enough to make me go, no thanks. Not in the same way as the reasons we're avoiding the Saudi shill show. Nobody's going to die of this particularly.
Nice.
But still worth mentioning that this stuff it ain't cool.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll get to a lot more.
And we're here to mock it.
Yes,
and cast it back into the history from whence it came.
Yes, absolutely.
And yeah, speaking of such controversy, the next match didn't really help matters. But before the next contest, we were treated to Jamie Noble and Nydia receiving surfing lessons because stereotypes, got to do that surfing in Australia.
Absolutely.
To their credit, they weren't too bad at it, and they even managed to stand up, which is more than I was able to do when I went surfing many, many years ago.
Never tried.
I wouldn't bother, mate. All that happens is you're tethered to a board, and it just drags you out to sea. That's pretty much all that happens when you go surfing.
Oh, right, okay.
And then the pair shared a romantic walk along the coastline, enjoying the sights of Australia. How did you feel about this little added video package from their tour of Australia?
It's interesting.
Yeah.
See, like another side of the wrestlers, It's kind of like one of those behind the scenes videos because they kind of all came out of character.
Yes. Oh, some of them came very out of character. Yeah, we'll get to that.
It was interesting.
There was a lot of this style of video happening in 2002 because segments like this, and they may have taped it for it. It may not have actually been for this, but they taped a lot of segments like this for WWE Confidential.
Oh yeah,
which was basically a behind the scenes show where Mean Gene Okerlund would talk about what the wrestlers were doing outside of the ring and when they were on tour, and they would do some like interviews and kind of talk about the rumors and things that were happening. So it was the first real kind of breaking the fourth wall thing that we had from WWE. But these segments, this being the first one, were really like confidential type segments that they threw in for added content onto this DVD, I guess. Yeah.
I quite liked it, So
I enjoyed this one.
I like my backstage stuff.
Jamie Noble didn't make the effort to keep his southern drawl.
No, he didn't at all, did he?
Throughout this in any way, shape, or form. I mean, at least they were holding hands walking down the beach. They kept that boyfriend and girlfriend type
thing going,
type facade going, at least for this part. Yeah. But so then Jamie Noble defended his WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Remember the Cruiserweight Championship? Yeah, I remember. Against the Hurricane. Hurricane started quickly, dragging Noble from the ring apron by his head and then piling on the offense. Momentum turned around in the match when Hurricane was sent outside the ring and a kiss was forced upon him by Jamie Noble's girlfriend, Nydia. Noble then took control and wore down his challenger with headlocks and suplexes. Noble almost put Hurricane away with a Northern Lights suplex, but the superhero kicked out at 2. Hurricane looked to hit a big move of his own, but was distracted by Nydia, and Noble locked Hurricane in a backslide and put his feet on the rope to gain extra leverage, and ultimately the 3 count.
Yeah.
What did you think? Cruiserweight action at its finest?
I wouldn't say at its finest.
Yeah.
It was alright though.
It was fine. I mean, it was an opening style contest. I don't actually think that it was originally on the main card. I think this was a dark match. Yeah, some problematic commentary in this. Again, I'm not sure that on its very face value there was too much issue in a lot of this. It was mostly what Taz was saying on commentary that was a bit dodgy throughout this show.
Yeah.
It's no wonder he didn't really last in WWE once they kind of turned PG.
Yeah.
But Yeah. That said, I enjoyed Taz and I liked the Taz and Michael Cole tandem. I thought there was a
They
very good
did bounce off
chemistry.
each other quite well.
Yeah, especially when I liked anytime Taz would go on about Joey Numbers and getting like the word from the street and his people got the information and all that kind of thing. That kind of New York Sopranos kind of family kind of connection. I got my information from my people.
Yeah.
That was entertaining. But yeah, the derogatory comments about Nydia and how she would take on, quote unquote, every man in the arena, which was probably about 40,000. No, not for me. Thanks very much.
Nah.
We can leave that firmly in 2002, where it happened. Yeah. I think that's about it for that match.
That's about it.
It wasn't a match that happened, but it was certainly a match that began and a match that ended, and there were some problems with it.
In the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
But shall we crack on? Yes.
Okay. So before the WWE Tag Team Championship match, more video footage was shown of superstars seeing the sights of Australia. This time we had Kurt Angle and the tag champs Lance Storm and Christian at the zoo. They saw giraffes, kangaroos, and koala bears and had a great time.
They really did. Yeah, they
loved it.
It looked like they were really enjoying themselves, especially Kurt Angle, who tried to stay in character throughout the entire thing, which was pretty funny. Yeah, and he failed. Yeah,
he failed miserably.
As you were saying about the breaking of the fourth wall and the getting out of character things earlier, did you notice Kurt Angle calling Christian Jay in this segment? And then he started banging on about baby faces and heels. I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, I know.
What are you doing? What's this got to do with the zoo? Why are you talking about baby faces and heels and kind of giving the people who watch this something to Google? Like, I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who watch wrestling but don't really understand that baby face and heel dynamic. I'm like, oh, what is he on about? Let's Google it. Oh, I see. Scripted good guys, scripted bad guys. Right. Cool. Thanks, Kurt.
Ruin it.
You've opened my world here.
Opened my eyes.
But it was nice to see some koala bears. I liked the koala bear. He was cute. And my daughter enjoyed seeing the giraffes. Giraffes are her favourite animal. And we got to see Kurt Angle in the wild as well. Yeah, Kurt Angle, not in his natural habitat, but near enough as damn it, you know?
Yeah. Kurt Angle said he's never seen a giraffe before, so...
What, yeah, he meant in person, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm guessing in person.
Yeah, I've never seen a giraffe before, so...
Haven't you?
No.
You need to get out more.
I mean, all the zoos that I've been to, there were no giraffes there.
Christ, you need to come to my zoo.
Apparently the zoo down the road from me has got giraffes, so we'll have to do that next summer.
You need to go there.
Absolutely, yeah. I've seen penguins at the zoo. Once you've seen penguins at the zoo, you don't care about anything else, really. I don't. That's all the animal you need. Like, I can see a squirrel in the trees. If I just go to the woods, that's that animal covered. I have a cat.
Yeah.
And I've seen penguins at the zoo. I don't care about any of the others. Meerkats? Yeah, okay, meerkats are cute. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Where can you see meerkats? Are there meerkats at the zoo in the UK?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, then. Yeah. Okay, I'll add meerkats to the list. And I've got to see giraffes now, because they're Hannah's favourite animal. So, there you go. Thanks, Duff. You've extended my list of one more. You know, I've seen a crocodile. Crocodiles are cool as well. Yeah.
Cool. What about rhinos?
I haven't seen a rhino, other than former WWE superstar Rhino, spelled with a Y.
I'm talking about the animal.
I mean, he was a man beast, so yeah. Surprised he wasn't on this tour.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Massive digression. Should we get on with the match?
Anyway. Riding high from their zoo experience, Lance Storm and Christian defended their gold against Billy Kidman and Rey Mysterio. As the match progressed, the Un-Americans isolated Mysterio from his partner. When Kidman made the hot tag, he came in like a house on fire and took care of both Storm and Christian before hitting the shooting star press on Storm. Christian pulled the referee out of the ring to prevent the 3 count, and while the official was still distracted, Storm struck Kidman with the tag team title and picked up the 3 count.
Now, this match was really where the SmackDown exclusive tag started to become problematic. And it was just bad timing because they had done the brand split. And they did it originally as, Ric Flair owns Raw and Vince owns SmackDown because they were 50-50 owners, I think. I think that's why they did the brand split originally. Yeah, that's it. And then, for whatever reason, in typical WWE Vince fashion, they decided, no, that's enough of that. Let's completely change the story for no reason whatsoever. And we're going to take Ric Flair's ownership from him by having Brock Lesnar beat Ric Flair in a match and have it all revert to Vince. So instead, Vince named general managers Stephanie for SmackDown and Eric Bischoff for Raw.
Yeah.
They were having the undisputed WWE Championship and the Tag Team Championship and the Women's Championship. Yes. Being able to run between the two brands. But once Bischoff and Stephanie were in charge, they were starting to make it exclusive, and the tag team championships were the first really to have that happen. Lance Storm and Christian defected to Raw, so they were actually Raw superstars at this time, but yet there they were on the SmackDown brand. So if this were a legit thing, you know that they would have done everything within their power to make sure that Kidman and Mysterio walked away with the tag championships in this match to keep them on SmackDown. So it was slightly issue-y as far as I'm concerned there. But this was the first instance of confusing people. Hey, they shouldn't be on the tour because they're not part of the SmackDown brand. But it was all very fresh.
Yes.
And it hadn't really bedded in yet. Yeah. Like, what do you mean we're not going on the tour? I've booked my hotel. Like,
fine, come in.
I'm not letting someone else go and see my kangaroo. I want to see the kangaroo. Thanks.
Are you talking to Skelly?
No, I was talking to another wrestler. I was being like Lance Storm and Christian.
Oh, Skelly could be a wrestler.
He could be. Yeah.
Could be under the very light division.
The Skelly weight division.
Bubble weight.
Yeah. I mean, he has got a bit of weight to him. He managed to trip me up earlier when I was going back to my seat, so...
He's getting his wrestling moves in now.
Yes, yeah. It was almost a drop toe hold, but not quite. The match itself, what did you think?
Yes. Fine. Again, I quite liked the using off the tag belt as a weapon. I thought that's quite cool.
Yeah.
Don't see that much, so...
Well, not anymore. No, you saw it a lot back in this day. But I did like how Michael Cole and Taz took the piss out of the fact that they'd obviously brought it in the ring too early, and the referee just ignored it and was like, yeah, that's totally normal. Yeah, tag belt in the ring. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Casual tag belt in the ring.
Carrying on with the match. Yeah. Oh no, I'm distracted over here. I wonder what might happen behind me. Oh, he's on the floor. How did that happen? Very strange.
I know. What
strange
happened?
Events. Yeah. It is amazing how apparently they couldn't hire a competent referee in WWE from 1950 through 2000 and now. Yeah.
2000 and now.
It's funny how the referees are always a bit confused. Bless them. They're never in the right place at the right time.
Bit dizzy.
Yeah. And from this point, staying on the Kidman theme, ahead of the next match, Edge, Billy Kidman, and Tori Wilson went shopping in Melbourne. They didn't actually do it then. It was a video. You get the idea. This set up the next match between Edge, who was now full of cake, if the video is to be believed, and Chris Jericho. Jericho got on the mic and upset the entire country of Australia before the match got underway, with Edge striking with quick moves. Jericho took over the match using the referee as a shield. Again, silly referees, don't know what they're doing. And Edge was kept down with submissions and stiff clotheslines. Can't not say Edge, apparently. With the referee down, Y2J continued to wear down his opponent with underhanded tactics, even involving a steel chair in the contest. With the referee awake again, miraculously, Jericho went for the walls of Jericho on Edge, but Edge rolled him into a cradle and picked up a shock 3 count.
Yeah.
Absolute prime, top quality Chris Jericho as a heel. This.
Yeah. I loved him. Especially when the crowd started calling him something as well, but I can't say on this channel.
You can say it. Go on.
Okay, when they started calling him a wanker.
Yes.
That was brilliant.
I do love how when this happens, and it happens here as well, not just in Australia, when the crowd start using the word wanker, how much the Americans just like, oh, this is exciting. They're using colloquial slang. Quick, jump on it, make a big deal.
Yeah.
Like what is a wanker? Well, it's a it's yeah.
Did you see what Edge did when Chris Jericho was trying to work out what a wanker was?
I couldn't really see what he was doing. What did he do?
He did. I'm gonna have to demonstrate because
go on.
He literally goes like this.
It's in context.
He goes.
I see. That's why I didn't understand it. Edge clearly thinks a lot more of himself than anything else.
Yeah,
he is masturbating an elephant rather than himself, apparently.
Yeah, and so that's what he described it as to Jericho, which I just found just funny.
Yeah. I mean, when you actually sit there and break down the insult, it's not really that much of an insult, is it?
No. Not really.
And what? Especially nowadays. Like maybe it was more of an insult then. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's an odd pay-per-view. It is a bit odd, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. It's very odd.
Yeah. This, the crowd using the term wanker and them having some fun with it is actually the least of the problematic parts of this show, to be honest. Edge edging an elephant. Yeah, I mean, he was certainly edging a virtual elephant.
He was edging something.
Yeah. But no, Jericho in this match was wonderful.
Yes,
and
brilliant.
I've loved this about Jericho his entire career, how he kind of changes some of the things he does depending on how his character has developed. So obviously, originally, he was known for the countdown, the lights going out, and then when the lights came back on, he was doing that. But because he was a heel, and now he had to find a way to be cocky and arrogant, he would do the countdown, the pyro would go off, the lights would come out, and he would walk out. He would walk to the position where he would have used to stand, and would make a massive deal about like winding up his arm and then going one arm, and then winding up the other and going 2 arm, and then turning round and like taking the adulation of the crowd or the derision.
Yeah.
Apologies for my ignorance, but what is a heel and the other one? A heel is the bad guy. The babyface is the good guy. It's wrestling terminology that comes from old carnival slang. A lot of wrestling terminology comes from carnival slang. Mark being another notable one. In wrestling, a mark is somebody who believes everything that's happening in front of them and completely buy into the wrestling world. Whereas obviously in the carnivals, a mark was somebody that they could dupe and take for all their money, which is basically the same meaning.
Yeah. You're telling me this isn't real?
I am telling you right now. I want to see this live reaction. It isn't real. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
Well played, sir. Well played. I like that. I enjoyed that very much. Yeah. Complete Mark move. I love it.
Yep. Had to get it in there.
Yeah. So it was nice to see a one-on-one Edge and Jericho match again. Jericho, not a SmackDown superstar, was one of the people that had defected to Raw.
She was wearing red.
Exactly. So I don't think we got to see this again for a number of years.
No.
Probably not until Edge moved to Raw and won the WWE Championship about 3 or 4 years later. So, yeah, cool. Good to see these guys in Edge in his rise to the top and Jericho firmly at the top, having only just been undisputed champion himself.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Good little contest.
Good. Let's carry it on.
Another good little contest.
Oh, let's get this done. So the next match had a special guest ring announcer as the Big Valbowski. Introduced Stacy Keibler and Tori Wilson for a bra and panties match.
Classic.
Stacy started the match off with a big slap across the face of Tori. Tori retaliated, trying to pull the shorts off Keibler, but it was Wilson who lost her top first. A big cheer from the crowd. Soon after, Stacy took off the top of Stacy Keibler and the match was even. After the referee got a little too involved in the match, Keibler and Wilson double-teamed the official and revealed his pink panties. Nydia tried to get involved in the match, but after losing her Daisy Dukes, she ran away. This distraction allowed Tori to pin down Keibler, reveal her lace underwear to win the match.
Yeah. This is obviously one of those classic wrestling matches that goes down in the annals of time as one of the more technical contests ever fought. Yeah. Another relic of the past, the bra and panties match. For those not familiar with 2000s, 90s, 2000s wrestling, the rules of a bra and panties match were the winner would be the person to remove enough clothing from their opponent so that they would just be in their bra and panties. So you would have to pull off their top or their shorts and their trousers and whatever in the ring and reveal them. Which, as a teenager, I thought was grand, you know?
Oh, it was.
But in
right stuff.
In retrospect, and with the benefit of broadband speed internet, totally unnecessary.
Yes. Yes.
Not very empowering for the women involved, I don't think.
Yes.
I mean, if a woman wants to get into a ring and take off her clothes, that's very empowering. But
go for it. If you want to do it, go for it. But
as long as it's their own choice.
If it's not your choice, don't do it.
If it's just part of a match, then yeah.
And what made it worse was the Big Valbowski.
Yeah, the Big Valbowski, Val Venus,
with his voice,
his porn star voice, because that was his gimmick, his gurning, always edging, to bring back that term from 10 minutes ago. Porn star voice, yeah. Well, you'll be glad to know that moments after this match, the Val Venus character became no more, and he just became a dull assistant to Eric Bischoff. He was one of the people that defected to Raw to become Eric Bischoff's assistant to the general manager. It was very weird.
Thank God for that.
It was weird, but yeah. The other question is,
yes.
At what point could you see more of Nydia's arse? When she had the Daisy Dukes on, or when they'd been taken off? Because let's be honest, those Daisy
I
Dukes didn't
think
really do much.
I think it was about the same, really.
Yeah, I don't think it changed anything.
No, not at all.
Not from where I was sitting, anyway.
No.
Yeah.
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 So there you go. That was a match that happened, I think. And we move on to the main event.
Yeah, please.
So before the main event, we saw some more video footage from a charity auction where a truly horrific painting of The Rock was sold for lots and lots of money for charity.
Yeah.
Good for them, man. That was...
It's for charity.
It was for charity,
Good
yeah.
for them. He signed it.
He did.
Where are you going to hang it?
Even if it was a good painting of The Rock, which it wasn't, where would you put it?
No. It's not like everyone's got that space in their house, have they?
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I'll just put it in my grand entranceway, where my two staircases meet in the middle. That is where I'll put my gigantic, hideous painting of The Rock that made him kind of look like his face was melting.
Yeah, the Triple H one looked better.
It did, which is why I'm not taking the piss out of that one.
Yeah, and was it Hulk Hogan, the other one?
Yeah, I mean it's hard to get Hulk Hogan wrong. Really, he is a cartoon.
Yeah, that's true.
He just white guy. Big white mustache.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of stubble, depending on what era he's in.
Throw a bandana on.
Yeah. Splash of red, splash of yellow.
Sorted.
Job done.
I'm happy. Good.
Yeah.
Boy,
yeah.
Lovely jubbly.
It reminded me of one of the two things that Australians can't say, and that is auction. Australians cannot say auction. They say auction. I'm like, no. Try again. Auction.
Auction.
It's AU. I mean, it's in your own country. Australia. Auction. Australia. Or not ock.
Yeah.
It's one of my pet peeves is that Australians can't say auction. I don't know why. It's a random pet peeve, but if you're out there, Australia, please learn to say auction.
Sort it out.
I'm begging you, just to lower my stress levels a little bit. Anyway, the main event saw the next big thing, Brock Lesnar and Triple H face The Rock in a triple threat match for the undisputed WWE Championship. The match began with Rock and Triple H double-teaming Brock Lesnar, but soon switched to Lesnar and Triple H double-teaming the champion. Rock somehow managed to separate his challengers and take the fight outside of the ring, but the distraction of Paul Heyman stopped any momentum Rock had, and Lesnar and Triple H took the match back into the ring. Triple threat turn-taking took full effect from here until a bloodied Triple H returned to the ring. Brock Lesnar kicked out of a people's elbow and a pedigree, but these kept Lesnar away long enough for Rock to hit the rock bottom on Triple H and pin him to retain his undisputed championship. After the match, Triple H and The Rock sent the crowd home happy with a pedigree and a people's elbow to Brock Lesnar's manager, Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
I say a people's elbow. Yes, there was a people's elbow. There was also a pedigree's elbow. Is that what he called it?
Assassin's elbow.
A trip's elbow. I don't know.
Trip's elbow. Game elbow.
Yeah. The customary. The show has gone off the air, and we'll do super babyface things to make sure the crowd go home with a smile on their face. And it was a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah.
I forgot how much Paul Heyman took a beating back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Compared to now. It's very rare that Paul Heyman gets knocked around nowadays, but I'm sure it'll come soon. It may have happened in the last fortnight where I haven't been watching, but you can tell me that. Whether Brock Lesnar got his hands on him or Roman Reigns had enough of him playing both sides.
I don't think he has. I can't remember. I've watched them, but I didn't pay much attention.
Just had them on in the background kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I am looking forward to Friday to being able to watch SmackDown again and it not be just shilling for another country. But anyway, a very young Brock Lesnar in this contest. 24 years of age.
4 years old.
On the verge of
Huge.
winning his first WWE Championship. Would happen, I want to say 12 days later. If my dates match up. I'm going to have to Google it now. I want to know if I've remembered that date correctly.
Get the Google out.
No, I'm wrong. It was the 25th of August, SummerSlam, so it's 15 days later.
Get it right, man.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Almost 20 years ago, I mixed up my 2s and my 5s. What are you going to do about it?
How can you not get the date right?
My photographic memory of dates of SummerSlams from wrestling past is obviously failing me. Yeah.
Just let me down.
The other thing I found interesting, and it was from an earlier video package, was Brock Lesnar talking to the camera.
Yeah.
When he was at the Access thing.
Yeah.
And he just looked like he was stifling the urge to kill everyone in the room and then himself, to be honest. He was like, I'm here at Access, meeting the people, signing autographs. I'm having a great time.
As he's got a gun pointed to the back of his head.
Having a great time. I love people and meeting people.
No, you don't.
Yeah. You could tell he was putting on his best corporate face while not being happy that he had to be in a room with at least one person.
Yeah.
Lesnar is not a fan of people, and
He's not a social guy.
I can relate, but I think Brock Lesnar makes each of us combined really look like socialites.
Yes.
To be fair. This is a guy that was not content with his small farm in the middle of nowhere in America. There was too many people there too. So he uprooted himself and his farm and went and found an even more remote farm in Canada where now nobody bothers him. Yeah. Nobody bothers him up there. And he's grown his lumberjack beard and his top knot. And he just runs around his farm carrying telegraph poles from one place to the other.
As you do.
As he definitely does. Yeah. I suppose you still haven't seen the Next Big Thing documentary, which had footage of him running up hills with a telegraph pole on each shoulder.
Yeah.
Crazy man. Yeah, absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he watched Kurt Angle's like Olympic regimen and saw him doing it with like one small tree trunk.
I can do better than that.
I can do better than that. Running.
I have to say, I did Google how much he weighed in stone.
Oh yeah.
Because when they said 295 pounds, I Googled it because my mum was asking, and he is 21.5 stone.
Yeah.
Of pure muscle.
Yeah. I mean, I have been close to that weight in my life.
Did you look like Brock?
I did not. No. It was not. It was not. I never got up to 295 pounds, but I was at about 260, I think.
Wow.
That was not of pure muscle. That was of fried chicken and cider. Wow. That's what that was.
Nice.
That was in my uni days, the dark times. Indeed, Duff. That's the time in which I met Reese. So definitely the dark times.
Well, they are dark times indeed.
Reese helped me get that fat. To be fair, yeah.
Dark times indeed.
Yeah, and then I discovered American football and professional wrestling training.
There you go.
And lost all of that.
There we go.
And now still don't look like Brock Lesnar. So. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Not many people can look like Brock Lesnar. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen anyone else, real or on television, that looks like Brock Lesnar.
No, he's just got really good genes.
He really does. And I do like the line that Pat McAfee uses for him at the moment, and that's Brock Lesnar is the person. If the aliens invaded and said, "Bring us your champion to fight,"
we're gonna take him.
Brock Lesnar would be the guy that we send, and it's true.
Yes.
He is like the Earth's ultimate specimen.
Is the Hulk?
Yeah, he would definitely be the blueprint.
Yeah.
Welcome in, Grimskull. We're just discussing manly man mountain, Brock Lesnar.
Man.
As we
Man.
as we move to the end of this
Yeah.
global warning tour. Last problematic thing draft wise, Triple H was a Raw superstar. And should not have really been in this match. The only thing I will say to kind of allow that a little bit is that the Undisputed Championship was cross-brand still at this time.
Yeah.
Do you know who made it not be cross-brand anymore?
No.
Brock Lesnar.
Ah.
When Brock Lesnar wins the belt from The Rock in 15 days from this event, he turns up the next night on Raw. He's promptly told by Eric Bischoff that he will defend the Undisputed Championship against Triple H. Brock Lesnar says, "No, thank you. I don't think I will." And he pisses off to SmackDown, and that's where he stays.
Lovely.
So they bring back the big gold belt for Raw.
For Raw, yeah.
And then award it to Triple H.
Yeah.
So, with hindsight, Triple H being there kind of makes sense, and it fits the story. But let's be honest, 15 days out, they had no plan to do that. They made that up on the night of the Monday Night Raw after SummerSlam.
Yeah.
As they very much did. But so one of the last appearances in WWE for The Rock for a very long time. Oh no, he came back the next year. Actually, I'm talking nonsense.
You're talking rubbish.
One of the last appearances as a babyface for The Rock before he went off and truly became Hollywood Rock.
Yeah.
Any
He's
other
released a rap
thoughts?
album now.
Well, The Rock has released a rap album.
He's released a rap song, yeah.
Great, that sounds like something I don't need in my life. Cool. It doesn't matter. I mean, that was his first rap song, technically.
Yeah.
Him and Busta Rhymes? Was it Busta Rhymes?
And this is him solo.
Well, it's got to be something then, I guess. Yeah. Any other thoughts about this match before we roll into a rating for this show?
No, we've covered everything and tangent-wise.
Cool. One honourable mention. There was a match that was listed as being on this card and was actually listed in the description, or at least it was on Peacock. I don't know if it was on the UK's WWE network.
I don't think it was.
Whether it was in the description. But it was Mark Henry and Randy Orton, which would have been a very early appearance of Randy Orton, like blue trunks and floppy hair, against Reverend Devon and Deacon Batista. But it wasn't on what I watched on Peacock. It wasn't watched on what you watched on the WWE network. So God knows what happened to that. That wasn't there.
Disappeared.
So probably would have been fun. I might have enjoyed that.
Me too.
Can't have been anything more problematic in it that they needed to edit out than everything else on this show, surely.
Yeah, I know. Everything else has just gone belly up, effectively.
Like if you edited this show for controversy, you'd pretty much just get the main event. You'd get the main event. You'd get Edge versus Jericho. No, you wouldn't. They had Wanker in it.
Wanker.
Wouldn't get the anti-American sentiment in the tag match.
No.
You wouldn't get the misogyny in the Cruiserweight Championship match. No. And you wouldn't get the homophobia in the opening match. Yeah, it would just be the main event and
just be the main event.
Just be the main event. And
just be the main event.
And Kurt Angle talking to a koala bear. That's all it would have been.
That'd be it.
Yeah. So.
Oh dear.
There we go. But Dan, as we always do, we'll give this a rating. And in WWE outside of the US style, I will ask you to give this a rating out of 5 stereotypical kangaroos.
Right, okay.
How many stereotypical kangaroos out of 5 do you give this show event?
Despite all the problems that went on, I did actually quite enjoy this pay-per-view or whatever it was, but not massively, not too far down. So I'm going to go straight down the middle. I'm going to say 3.
Okay, yeah. I enjoyed it as well. It was nostalgia for me, and I think the problems were such that you can just kind of laugh them off as, yeah, that was definitely not good how things were back in 2002, but it is the way the world was. This wasn't an exclusive to WWE thing. It was that things were just different then, and people were more stupid somehow. I don't know. So that aside, the only other thing I don't really like about it is that it was a phoned-in event in terms of the stories that were happening at the time. It was there was never going to be any title changes. There was never going to be any big event that the Americans would miss out on.
Yeah,
especially as it wasn't going to be seen by them until 3 months later on DVD. So with that in mind, I'm gonna. I don't know if this has happened before, but I'm going to agree with you and give it the same rating. I'm giving it a 3. Has that happened before?
I don't think it has.
I don't think it has either. I think we've at least differed by like 0.25 or something. But no, I think 3 is the spot on rating for this show.
Jesus Christ.
He's already walked off once. Might do it again in shock.
Slam my laptop down.
Show is over. I'm going home. You're already home. But
I'm already home.
I'm going to go clasp a championship belt and cry in the corner. Like, this is too weird.
Yeah, I'll go get one of them now.
Yeah, well, you might as well go and get the main roster championship belt down, because you're not going to have it much longer. Yeah.
Yes, I will.
On that note, we'll be back with the main roster next week, with the Saudi Phil show out of the way, and moving into the new rosters that were created by the draft. We will be predicting the show that happens on Thursday, despite the fact that we won't be watching it, just to add to our numbers, and you, the audience, will also get the opportunity to do it. I take it there's no women's matches in Saudi Arabia. No, there are. They're
covered.
They are covered from head to toe. Yeah. Can't even show a wrist. Flash a wrist would send the Crown Prince into a frenzy. He would definitely be calling down. He would be calling for someone's head once again. Yeah.
Down is covered.
So yeah, we don't do that show.
No.
We just ignore it. I'm not giving them the ratings or the publicity. It's not happening. Yeah, money, nothing. I mean, I'm still subscribed to Peacock, but hey, at least the money's going to Peacock this year instead of WWE.
That's true.
Something. That's something.
Very true.
I mean, last year I did cancel my WWE network for the month and then turn it back on again. So
you did.
Yeah. I mean, it's a drop in the ocean compared to the money that they get, but it makes me feel better that I'm not supporting a lack of rights. It's probably the easiest, more succinct way of putting it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be back with that. We'll throw some predictions out on social media and get involved with that. And we'll be excited to talk about some wrestling once again that's happening in 2021 on the main roster. So kick off some music. We'll see you next week. Dash has just arrived on YouTube. Hey Dash, what's up? We're just finishing. Seem to be making a habit of this. Like, hey, do they look like they're finishing? Yeah, now is when I watch. Yeah. But if you, Dash, or anybody else would like to start this again from the beginning, you can do that on Twitch, on Facebook, on YouTube, where we have just broadcast, or you can find us at anchor.fm/the-main-roster, or anywhere that you listen to your podcast. Go find us. Lots of content there. We'll see you next week. I've been Jez. That's been Dan.
I've been Dan. Yeah.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Kangaroo.
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 Koala.
Koala.
Good night.
Grass.